As you know, I am SONYA Ward from Harmony Success Solutions. Just bear with me because I'm actually looking at my monitor, and I actually have the images of the 50 men that were arrested in the child predator sting this week. And it's blown my mind because they are all adult men between the ages of 19 and 60 years old. And what they have done is sent lewd images of themselves to children between the ages of 11 and 14 with plans, intentions, and actual steps to meet with what they thought would be 14-year-old boys, 10-year-old girls, students, or whatever, very, very young children, to exchange sexual relations with them. And this is awesome, awful. I'm just tongue-tied right now. It's really awful. Here's what it says. It says, a detective said he was looking to have sex with a 14-year-old girl. One of the 50 arrested, which was a Duncan St. Julius. He was a teacher at Smyrna Beach High School when the sting went down. So he's actively teaching. He teaches English to 9th and 10th graders. He connected up with a mother, and he said he thought he was being open-minded, negotiating, preparing to have sexual intercourse with a 14-year-old female. What he did was he was actually sending his images to the sting operation, but thought he was actually sending them to the 14-year-old girl, and I just couldn't imagine. This is how some of our children get baited so easily when they're using the computer on social network, and they're being, enticed and tricked by older men and women who are sexual predators. And I thank God for operations like this one. This one is called Operation Cardea, involving 17 different agencies and a whole load of undercover work. Kudos to Operation Cardea for doing this great work to catch and apprehend these predators who, I believe on Monday, had to stand before a judge to receive whatever the next step would be in terms of their punishment for their criminal behavior. We've got to be very careful with our children, and we've got to communicate with them and talk to them about what's taking place in school, how they're communicating and getting along with their teacher, and, what is being said, what is appropriate, what is proper, what is inappropriate communication, inappropriate contact, and what is proper. And I think that if we get into the practice of having these kind of conversations, like over the dinner table, kind of making it comfortable, and then having them privately, maybe deciding if there's a two-parent household, one where you will, take turns having these discussions. It is wonderful to have a teacher that's investing time in you, but, be clear that there's a certain way that they should communicate with you, and that personal space is what it is, and no one should ever invade your personal space. And be careful about time spent alone without other students, and really guard yourself and putting that space between. That it's teaching is an intimate thing, but we got to be very careful. It's like even with the gun law thing and saying that maybe teachers should carry weapons. Teachers are people, just like police officers are people, and lawyers are people, and even judges are people. And unfortunately, none of us are without imperfection and flaws, and you just never know in any group, no matter what your professional level is, how far you've advanced in your career. If you have a mental illness, a personal struggle that causes you to desire things that are just not right, inappropriate, and ungodly, that's not something that's going to show up on a resume or during an interview or during a conversation with colleagues. That is a dirty little secret, a dirty struggle. And so we've got to take the action steps to remain in close communication with our children so that we can understand if there's a shift, and they can understand if things are moving in a direction that's uncomfortable or unacceptable, so that we can address them before it gets out of hand. And being involved in electronic communications and telling them what's appropriate to send and dangers of sending things, and inviting them in on conversations and news bites such as this to educate them as to what's out there and how people are being tricked, because sometimes kids think they're talking to other kids, and even though it's still inappropriate dialogue, they are misled and tricked, and these predators are able to take advantage of them. And so again, I just say, open up the lines of communication, get really close, become really good friends, keeping your parental role, but be friendly with your children so that they'll feel comfortable opening up and talking to you, so that we can begin to understand a sense when things are going to the left or down the road in a way that is not going to work out in the long run. And in terms of those who are struggling with these ill feelings and these ill desires, if you know that it's something that you have to hide and you have to sneak around to do, then you know that it's inappropriate. Get help. Getting help may bring some level of attention to you, and I know people probably fear that, but it certainly will beat the kind of attention you get when you become a part of other operations such as Operation Cardea. You know what I'm saying? You wind up being punished when you could have gotten help, so that prevention would be the method to getting you better, as opposed to hurting someone else, involving someone else in your ill desires, and creating victims out of them. Get help if you need help. And again, parents, make sure that you keep those lines of communication open. I am Sonia Ward from Harmony Success Solutions. I'd like to thank you for visiting my channel. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. You're welcome. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up by clicking like and sharing it with a friend. Once again, I'd like to thank you for stopping by, and have a wonderful day.